Welcome back to the Crochet Chronicles, my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we have another genie pattern. It's called the Larksfoot Granny Afghan. This is actually a really neat Afghan. It starts off as a square for quite some time and then she then transitions two of the sides to make it into a rectangle. So you can find that on our website. Just follow the more information of this video. And then finally on page number 3 we have a crochet diagram, a big one. And so we have the big square here, and you can repeat this amount of square as many times as you want, as long as you end on a 13th round. So you can keep on doing that. So let's take a closer look at this particular diagram here, and we're gonna move along today. You'll need a 5mm size H crochet hook today. Jeannie is recommending Caron Cakes yarn here. For tutorial reasons I'm using spare yarn, so I'm using Caron 1 pound off weight and also Caron jumbo yarn called Zinnia. So here's my crochet diagram. I'm not very good at actually being able to go around in a full square yet. I'm still learning how to make these. So when we go to be able to start, we're gonna chain 4 and we're going to form the middle. So where it turns and goes off is basically a reflection of what this is. So when it turns, the corner comes around. So the corners are actually been all completely done. So when we go to start off, you're going to notice it, like look at this one. So you chain 3, 1 double crochet into this space here. It's a half double crochet join. So when you look at the other side, see it's 2 double crochet in there, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So just look at it from that perspective. What you need to watch out for the most is that, see this one here, it goes into a corner space when you see that, and you'll see that repeating. So the repeat here is so long because of the color play, but in actual fact it only takes just I believe just a few rounds in order to see the repeat happen over and over and over. And the same thing also with this one. Once it goes to a rectangle, you will notice that it is pretty much an easy repeat, but it's the color play that makes it longer in the pattern. Let's begin. This is a new color for me. It's called the Jumbo Zinnia. I don't use variegated very often, but I really like this particular color. I like how bright it is, and it's just fun and fabulous. So we're going to start off with the first round. So you're gonna chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in the 4th chain from the hook, you're gonna put 2 double crochet. So this will be one side of the square that you're making. To do the next side, you have to chain 2 and then do that one into the center point as well. So you'll put 3 double crochets this time. So 1, 2, and 3, and so you gotta turn again. So chain 2, 3 more double crochets into the middle. Okay, chain 2 and do it one more time. This will be the final corner or the final side. So Jeannie has us doing half double crochet joins when we go around. It's a technique she showed me many years ago. It works out pretty lovely. So instead of chaining 2 and then ending up on the top of this one, we do a half double crochet join to the top of this one, and this will put the ending of this right directly smack in the center of a corner. So that was round number 1. So as we begin our journey, I'm going to just get more narrow with my instructions, just giving you what you have to do per side. So let's begin round number 2. In round number 2, we're gonna start making spaces so that we can do that lark's foot that will come down in the future. So we're going to start off and we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's a double crochet, and the 4th is a chain 1 space. So right in the first stitch here, this is the chain, the chain 3, that's your first stitch. You're going to double crochet that one plus the next 2 in a row. So the lark's foot is always in sets of 3 stitches like that, like solid stitches. But before you end, you have to chain 1, so that creates another space for the future, and then you're gonna come into the corner. So the corners on round number 2 are going to be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. And let's start another side. So before you start, chain 1, then go to the first stitch and do 3 in a row. So that one, the next one, and the next one. And before you start the corner, chain 1, and then your corner is 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and you'll do that all the way around. So please do this. This is round number 2. Okay, when you go to finish a side, so you got my 3 in a row, make sure you chain 1 first, and then in the first half double crochet space you are going to put in a a double crochet and then join to the third chain up for the half double crochet join like that. Okay, so you should be able to see these spaces that are in between, so you see 3 double crochets and etc. Let's move on to round number 3. In round number 3 we're going to just immediately start, and you'll chain 3 and you'll double crochet into the same space, and you'll double crochet into the first chain 3 that you have there for this side. Okay, so now we can see that there's a space in the next one, so we're gonna chain 1, skip over that space and double crochet into the 3 double crochets that are already there. It's going to be the next round that we're gonna start dropping down for our lark's foot, but we're still building at this time. So you can see that there's another space, so chain 1 to jump over that space. You're going to double crochet into the next double crochet, and then your corners will each be the same. In this round it'll be 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. I'll show you one more side. As this thing gets bigger won't have to go as far because you'll get it. So you're gonna double crochet in the first one, and then you can see that there's a space, or feel it with your fingers. Chain 1 to jump over that and just double crochet the next 3 in a row. Okay, space is next, so chain 1 to jump over it, double crochet into the next one, and then do your corners. Again, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and please do this all the way around for round number 3. When you come all the way back around, you are just going to just skip over that last space with the chain 1 and come into this last one here, and then finish the corner of 2 double crochet, and then just join it with the half double crochet join to the top of the chain 3, and then that will finish off round number 3. Let's begin round number 4. You're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and in this corner as well you're just gonna put another double crochet in there. So you will notice in the pattern is that sometimes you're putting 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in a corner. Sometimes it's 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So just refer to the pattern if you're ever unsure. So starting in the next stitch that we have going out, so here, and you want to create a space for the future. So you're just gonna chain up 1, and then you're gonna skip over the next one and double crochet in the next. So this space will be dropped down in the future. The next one here is going to be a drop down into this space here. Now you're not gonna go in front of the project or behind the project, you're gonna go right through the project. So when you wrap the hook, you're gonna go right into the space and just grab it from behind and pull through, and pull up enough slack, so just pull up like this so it wants to not compress, and then you're going to double crochet as normal, and I just did a drop down, and then you will double crochet the next. Okay, so remember, as I said, everything's kind of in groups of 3, so there's your 3, so you're gonna chain 1, skip the next one, and then double crochet the next one. So you've created a space for the future. So the next one has to be a drop down again. So you're just gonna wrap the hook, go into this space, grab it from behind and pull through, give it a bit of slack, and then finish that double crochet, and then double crochet into the next one. And then create a new space, so chain 1, skip the next one, and then double crochet in the last one before the corner. And as I said on this one here, the corners, this time is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So let's just do one more side together. So the next one is going to be 1 double crochet by itself. If you look at it, see how there's 3? That kind of gives you that clue, isn't it? So you're gonna double crochet the first one, chain 1 to skip the next one, which is the middle one of this 3, and double crochet the next, and then drop down for the next. Double crochet the next one, and then create a space. Skip 1, double crochet in the next, and then drop down. and double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one, and you're into the stitch before the corner. It really does get easier to remember in the future, so if you're thinking that's kind of confusing, it does get easier, and there's a diagram to show you that as well. So then 2 in the corner, and then chain 2, and then 2 again, 2 double crochet. Please do this all the way around for round number 4. So I'm coming out to the end, so I'm just already skipped one, I've come double crochet in the last one, and then you finish this corner that you started with before is 2 double crochet, and then join to the top of the chain 3 with the half double crochet join. So that's what it looks like so far. Let's begin round number 5. So now that we've been doing the drop downs here, you're going to notice is that we don't drop down every row. We're strategic about it. So we have to create 2 empty spaces to drop down into first. So we have 1 empty space, so we have to create another space before the next time that we can drop down. So just keep that in mind. So round number 5 is chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a double crochet and a chain 1 space. And starting in the very next stitch that you have here is that you're going to do these 3 right in a row. So 1, 2, and 3. And it's a nice easy round. See this chain 1 space? So you chain 1 to skip over it and then continue along, so you get the next 3. Everything is working in groups of 3. And then chain 1, skip this space here to the next group of 3. Chain 1, skip the next chain 1 space, and then eventually you'll end up in the corner. Before you start the corner though, make sure that you chain 1 first. You're creating a new space, and then you start your corners, and the corners this time are 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and then you begin another side. So just chain 1 to begin, and then do your groups of 3, and then chain 1 spaces to skip over the existing spaces, and this is round number 5. So I'm coming all the way back around. Don't forget to chain 1 before you're doing your last space with the double crochet, and then just half double crochet to the 3rd chain up. Now we're gonna be starting color play in just a moment, so the next 2 rounds will be a different color. So to fasten this yarn off, I would just trim it, and the best way to do it honestly is just to grab a tapestry needle. It just takes a few seconds, and then just slam this through a needle. And so then rounds number 6 through 13 that we're about to start is the technical repeat of this whole pattern. So turn it over to the other side and just glide it through some of the stitch work underneath. Try not to impede the edge of your project so that it's not noticeable. So go through once, slightly different path, second time, and go to 3rd time, and it should never fall out on you. And then once you have that done, you can just cut it right down to the project. Good to go. So we're going to start now number 6, which is the start of the repeat for this whole thing. So we're about to start round number 6. So 6 through 13 is the repeat. So you can start the rectangle section at any time as soon as round 13 is complete. So you can do this as many times as you want to, but in order to start the rectangle that's here, it has to end on a 13th round. So we're going to start here. So the color play here is going to be a different color for rounds number 6 and 7, and then the rest I'm gonna move back to the zinnia color. So I'm using an off-white here for Caron 1 pound, and we're going to begin number 6 next. So let's begin number 6. Number 6 I thought was confusing in the pattern, and it's not because Jeannie, it's because of my self-interpretation. So I want to start off in the corner, and I'm gonna put this as a slip knot already on the hook, so it's ready to go, and I'm just going to attach it, just slip and slip, and then just pull the slack out. Number 6, you're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's a double crochet, and the 4th one is a chain 1 space. And I need you then to double crochet the next double crochet here. Now the next one is a drop down, and it's 2 rows below. So what you're going to drop to is this one right here. It's actually a corner space, and that's where I was getting confused. So you're just gonna wrap the hook, go into that corner space, and pull some slack, Okay, and then you're gonna double crochet the next one. And this is already what you already know, except for that corner. So then chain one to create a new space, skip over the middle one of this group of 3 and double crochet the next, and then drop down. Isn't that neat? And then double crochet the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet the next, and then drop. So this off-white will give it a visual barrier break. So make sure you chain 1 after that and keep them in sets of 3. I know Jeannie spent a lot of time working on this particular project, trying to get the math to work out for the corners, and then eventually it came in to play. It's awesome. So the next one, the space dropping down, is a corner space, so just drop down right into the space. This is the last one of a side, and then double crochet the next, and then you're on a new corner. So then the corner is that you got to chain 1 first and then do your corner. So it's double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then you'll start another side. So just like before, so let's just review. So you're going to chain 1 just before you begin. You're going to double crochet in the next, and then the next one, it's a space here, so you're going to come right into the space, straight on down. It's the corner space. Double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the middle one, go to the next one, and then drop. And you'll do this all the way around. So please do round number 6 the same way and keep the color on. We're gonna do this color one more time just to keep that break going on. And that's what it looks like so far. When you come all the way around, don't forget to chain 1 after you do your last group of 3. You're going to double crochet into the first chain, or the first space here, and then attach to the 3rd chain up with a half double crochet, and you're gonna keep this color then going into row number 4. This pattern is actually pretty easy to follow. It's just a matter of getting started on the side correctly. Let's begin number 7. So let's begin number 7. You're going to chain 3, counts as a double crochet, and you'll double crochet then again one more time. So the corners this time are 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. You'll double crochet then into the next one that you have here, and then you'll chain 1, skip this space that you see, and then just double crochet the next 3. Okay, and then you see that there's another space, so chain 1, skip over it, and just do the next 3. So you're gonna do this all the way around, and I'll see you at the first corner here. Just make sure you're turning properly, and I'll be right back. So when you come to the next corner, you're still maintaining your spaces, and then you're coming into the corner of 2 double crochet first, chain 2, 2 double crochet to turn. So you'll double crochet in the first one, and then you can see that there's a space coming up, which is next. Look for the groups of 3. That will help you be able to do that. So chain 1 to jump over the space, and then just do your groups of 3, and then chain 1s to jump over spaces. Please do this all the way around for round number 7, and we'll be switching our color back then into the next round as we progress. So I'm coming all the way back around. I'm just following the pattern as I know it. You should be getting a little bit more easier with it as well. You'll see the consistencies of what we're doing, hopefully, and then you'll just join. So we're going to get rid of this color then, and we're gonna switch back to the other one. If you'd like to change your colors to anything else, you can do so as well. I've already shown how to fasten off, so please do that now. We'll start round number 8 in just a moment. Okay, let's begin round number 8. Start off with a slip knot on your hook and come into a chain 2 space corner, and you are going to begin and attach, and this corner then will be chain 3 and a double crochet into the same one. So corners on this one and number 8 are 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So maintaining the pattern with what we already know, we're gonna double crochet in the next one and then create a space and jump over the middle one. Okay, we are going to jump down today in this one, so we're gonna come down and jump, and then we're gonna double crochet the next. Chain 1 to jump, skip the next one, double crochet, and then come on down. Okay, I think honestly we're far enough in this tutorial that I can just say to do that, and when you get to the corner you're just gonna continue to maintain with what you already know. This is a repeat of what we've already done in the past, so it's just a matter of maintaining the stitch work as you go. So please continue this to round number through round number 8. I'll see you back here in just a moment as we kick off round number 9. Okay, I'm finishing at round number 8, just maintaining the pattern. And then remember that the outside here, the last space will be 2 double crochet, and then just join it with a half double crochet to the join, or to the top of the chain 3. So this is the end of round number 8. Let's begin round number 9. Round number 9, we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's your double crochet. The 4th is a chain 1 space. You're gonna come into the next one here, and you are going to double crochet that one plus the other 2 in a row. So this one we're maintaining the spaces, we're not dropping down at all. So chain 1, skip the space, double crochet in the next 3, and then jump over the space. So chain 1, jump, and do that. So in the corners it's what you already know. So the corners this time will be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Make sure that you are providing those chain 1 spaces. So I'll see at the first corner just to make sure. This is round number 9. So I'm approaching the first corner on round number 9, just maintaining. Before you do the corner, chain 1 first, do your corner, chain or double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and before starting another side, chain 1 first, and then you can go into your first 3 and maintain. Please do this all the way around round number 9. Coming to the end of number 9, just chain up 1 before you start the corner, of course, and then double crochet, and then join it to the 3rd chain with a half double crochet join, and that was round number 9. Looking good. Let's begin round number 10. Round number 10, we're gonna start with a chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, that's a double crochet. The 4th is a chain 1 space, and coming into the next stitch here you're going to double crochet, and you need to drop down then into this chain 2 space corner for the next one. So coming on down, and then double crochet the next, chain 1 to skip over the middle one of the grouping of 3, double crochet in the next, and then drop on down. I think at this point in the tutorial you should be confident you know what you're doing at this point, but I will see you at the first corner just to make sure that you're turning properly, and continue to maintain this going around. I'll see you at the end, or see you at the end of this side in just a moment. I'm at the first corner in round number 10, and so I've come in here, so I've skipped over. So my next one is to jump down to the chain 2 space corner, and then I double crochet in the one just before the corner, chain 1, and then start the corner. So it'll be double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then chain 1 to begin another side, and you are going to then just come into the very next stitch, and then the next one is a drop down to this chain 2 space corner. So it's like how we started, right? So then double crochet in the next, and then start making your spaces. So chain 1, skip over the middle one of that grouping of 3, and etc. Please do this all the way around round number 10. So just in my last section here, round number 10, I've already chained 1, and then I'm gonna double crochet in the first space, and then join to the 3rd chain up with a half double crochet join, and that concludes number 10. Let's begin number 11. Number 11, you're going to chain 3, counts as a double, and you are going to double crochet again into the same one. You'll double crochet in the next, and you're just maintaining spaces, so no dropping down. So chain 1, skip the next space, double crochet in the next 3, and then just double crochet in the next skip a stitch by chaining 1, and etc. So you're gonna maintain with what you already know. The corners will be the same with what you already know. So remember, the corners are 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. I'm gonna leave this round for you. This is round number 11, and we've already done this several times in the past. So let's continue to do this, and I'll see you at the end of this round. I'm finishing up round number 11 just with what I already know, and then don't forget the half double crochet join to the top of the chain 3. So let's move on now to round number 12, and 12 and 13 are gonna be the final before the repeat starts all over again way back here. So let's begin number 12. Let's begin number 12. We are going to chain 3, counts as your first double, and then double crochet once again. So the corners in this round will be 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. You are going to double crochet then into the next one that's available to you, and then create a space for the next one. So chain 1, jump. So jumping over the middle one of the group, and then double crochet in the next. So you have your new space that's there, and now the next one is gonna be a drop down, and then double crochet in the next, chain 1, double crochet in the next, and then drop down. I think you should know what you're doing at this point. This is round number 12, and remember that the corners are 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and just watch your spaces when you're going to do this. So please do this all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of round number 12. So I'm coming up to the end of number 12, and just finishing off with what we already know, and then join with the half double crochet join. So round number 13 is the last round before the repeat begins all over again, starting back here, and let's begin number 13. Number 13 here is the last round, so if you would like to go on to the rectangular version, you have to finish this round first. You can do the rectangular version at any time, but it has to be at the end of round 13. So let's begin. You're going to chain 4, which will be a double crochet and a chain 1 space, double crochet into the next one, and then double crochet into the next 2. So you're just maintaining spaces, you're not dropping down in this round. Okay, so there's another space, chain 1 to jump, and do the next 3, and etc. So the corners on this one here, don't forget, are 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and then make sure before you start a corner you are doing your chain 1 before you start the corner, and that's how you're going to do it. So this is round 13. You've done it before, and let's continue this, and I'll see you at the end of this round in just a moment. So now coming out to the end of round number 13, and I'm just continuing my journey. Make sure that you do chain 1 before you finish the corner, so it's 1 double crochet and then join to the 3rd chain up, and this will be the end of a repeat. So let's talk repeat, and let's talk about moving on in this tutorial today. At this time we've now completed up to round number 13. So now you're going to do round number 6, which is the first drop down of this color, and using this same color, if you're continuing with the pattern, you want to do it 3 more times in order to get to the size that Jeannie is recommending. Because this will always sit flat, you can go as many rounds as you want to. You can change the colors as many times as you want to, but you need to finish on round number 13 as far as if you want to build it out on the sides. So what we're going to do is then transform this to a rectangle next, and we're just going to be favoring one side and the other. I'm only going to demonstrate it once because the actual side is really simple and the diagram is more complex than it needs to be, and the reason for it is that color play is in motion, so we have to then indicate that on a pattern. So it's not as complicated as it may look in the instructions. So let's begin to look at the diagram next. As we're beginning the side edge, make sure that you are going to finish off your yarn here. So this is where we're going to end our story if you're moving on and ready to go to a rectangle. If you are doing more of the repeats of 6 through 13, do not fasten off at this time, and let's look at the diagram. When we go to look at the diagram, we're going to start on row number 1, and the blanket is going to be facing up, so the right side facing up, and we're going to go right into the corner. So I aligned it so that you can see where it's going to go. So the first stitch is going to go, the chain 3 is going to go into the space, and then the next one is going to be going into here. Do you see that? And then what's going to happen is that the next stitch here, this drop down, is going to go to this chain space corner. So it's exactly what you know, but the difference is that we're working in rows. So you're just going to work your way across, and again the other side is just straight on down, and the last one is into the chain 2 space. So there's technically only 4 rows for a repeat of this concept. So you're going to see row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, and row number 4, and that's technically the repeat of this going all the way through it. But when you back it out here, what we have here is that the repeat for this whole side will be 1 through 10, and then going from 3 to 8 to finish. So 1 through 10, and then 3 through 8. And so let's start row number 1. Let's start with a slip knot on the hook, and we're going to go right into a chain 2 space corner, and you're going to attach it and then chain 3. That's your first double crochet, and in this particular case is that we're going to double crochet the next double crochet, and then the next one has to be a drop down, so it's gonna go right into the space right down here. So the only difference on this stuff now is that you're just working in rows. So then you'll double crochet the next and then create a new space for the future. So you'll skip over the middle one of this grouping of 3, double crochet in the next, and then drop down and down. Okay, and then there you go. So let's continue, and I'll see you at the end of this row, and we'll turn when we get there, and I'll show you how to finish this row just to make sure you got it. When you come to the other side of this, you're just maintaining the pattern with what you already know, dropping down, double crochet in the last one, and in the very last chain 2 space you'll just double crochet. You're gonna keep this color, and you're just gonna turn your work and do row number 2. So let's begin to do that next. So the drop down only ever happens when you're on the front side of the project, so that just should keep in mind. So we're looking at the back of the project now, so we're just gonna maintain the stitches as we know it. You're just gonna chain 3, and you'll double crochet in each of the double crochets, and if there's a space just chain 1 and jump on over it. So every other row is like this, just nice and simple. Okay, so just jump on over those spaces, and I'll see you at the end of this row. This is number 2, and I'll be right back, and we are gonna change our color back to zinnia in just a few seconds from now. When you come to the other side of row number 2, you are just going into each stitch including the chain 3. So the edges here have 4 double crochets in a row. You're going to fasten this off. I've already shown you how to do that in today's tutorial, so please do that, and meet me back here in just a second for row number 3. So row number 3, we're just gonna start the zinnia color, and this color then will be rows number 3 all the way to 8, and then you'll be doing color play again for 9 and 10, which is this off-white. So rows number 3 and 4 is the end of the repeat for this stitch concept, but not actually for the pattern itself. So you should just know, because of the color play, we've had to make the stitch rows in the multiples in order to repeat the pattern a lot longer than normally. So if this was never changing colors, or the color was changing more frequently, then it would not be this long. So you're just going to double crochet, sorry, chain 3 into the first one here, and then you're gonna double crochet into the next, and you're going to chain 1 to skip the next one. So think about the edging as not as part of the grouping of 3, okay, so, or part of the group of 4. Just look at these 3, and you're gonna skip over the middle one. So the edging is kind of like an extra stitch on both sides, and now you're gonna drop down for the next. This is what you already know, and then you'll double crochet in the next, chain 1 to skip over the middle one of that group there. So double crochet and then drop, and you'll do this all the way across, and I'll see you at the end of this row. This is number 3. So I'm coming up to the end of row number 3. I'm maintaining the pattern as I know it. It's creating that space, and then the last chain 3 has to be a double crochet. So in turning to number 4, you're on the back of it again, and remember what I said, when you're in the back you just maintain the stitches. So chain 3, you're going to double crochet in each of the double crochets that are there, and chain 1 to skip over the chain 1 spaces that are below. So this is row number 4. I'll see you at the end of this number 4, and then we'll talk about the repeating after this. So now just finished up to row number 4. So let's turn around and talk. So you know how at this point on the edges we're just going to build up. So you've already seen it drop down once, and then you had a double crochet row. You've seen it drop down in a different position, right? And then the next row was a double crochet. So all you're just doing is alternating between this in order to make it work. So when you look at the diagram itself, is that all you're looking at here, let's just bring you in a little closer so you can see, is that these drop downs are in the same position each and every time, and we just finished off row number 4. So what you can do is that you can just maintain this and go all the way to 10, and then go all the way from 3 to 8 in order to finish. You can do as big as you want to go. So my point being is that this is unlimited on how long you want to make your rectangle. Obviously you use more yarn if you make it bigger. because the final row that we have here to start the border, it doesn't really matter which row you finish on. So it's a nice way to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do for you now is that I'm gonna leave this in your capable hands to do your repeats all the way until the end of row number 16. So this is just the counting in order to get it to work, in order to make it. So we just diagrammed a lot extra just for you, and remember the color play happens on rows number 9 and 10 so that you have that consistency of this look that you see going on in the blanket. So I'm going to move on to giving you a tip that is not in the pattern. This is the first border, round number 1. So let's begin the border. Now the border, all it is that the first time around you're just gonna equally space your double or your single crochets all the way down and then down the side of the center of the blanket as you're going all the way down. I'm gonna give you a tip here. If you single crochet into this space, you end up with this space that's not used, and that's fine. It's what it's in the main example. But what you can do in this first single crochet, whenever you're on a space, you can literally just drop on down just to fill that space in. So that's something that you can decide for yourself on what you would like to do, but I will show you both ways just to make sure. And we're gonna do number 1. So it's just equally spacing single crochets in across all the stitches and then down the sides and then around. Let's begin row number 1 or round number 1. With the right side facing up, I have my colors placed still here, so I have my colors still going on. So I can chain up 1 and I can single crochet into this one, chain 2 and single crochet. So that will allow me to turn the corner. So when I'm coming back up along this side, I'm just equally spacing my single crochets there. So the pattern says to put 1 single crochet in each of the stitches and chain 1 spaces like this, but then you end up with this open space that is there. No big deal. I don't think that's a bad thing. And then what we can do is that if you would like, instead of leaving those open spaces, just drop on down with the double crochet and then continue along, and what that will do is that it will fill in that space completely for you. Okay, so single crochet, and if you want to drop on down you can. And just don't make the slack as big because you're only working with single crochets here, and that will maintain the look. So please do this all the way across. I'll see you at the first corner, which is coming up next, and we'll just review on how to equally space because there's really no special counting needed. So I'm getting close to the edge of the other side and I'm here, and on the very last turning chain I want to apply a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So now I want to equally space the stitches down. Now until you get to the middle center here, you won't those will go into each stitch, but you just have to guess. And so you're just gonna go into some chain work. Don't go into a space because it'll really open it up, and just equally space out your single crochets in order to get to that center that you will have. Now for tutorial reasons I'm not gonna go all the way around because I'm just making a little swatch sample today. But what I'll do is that I'll be back in just a few seconds from now where we'll continue the journey. So once you get to all the way to the actual middle sample, then you can just ride those stitches. If you would like to continue to drop down like I showed you here, you can do that. And that's something that you can decide, that is up to you, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'll meet you all the way around. I'm not gonna do it myself, but I will be back in just a moment and we'll carry on and I'll take you to round number 2. So let's pretend I've gone all the way around and I'm just coming up close to where I started to, and I'm just equally spacing out the stitches going up. Again, stay in the chains because then it'll just keep it nice and better. So we've already started in the first stitch so that it was a single crochet, chain 2 single. So just slip stitch it here to the beginning, and then I want you just to slip stitch to the chain 2 space of the corner. So just maintain that, and we're going to be back in just a moment as we continue with round number 2. In round number 2, because we weren't really counting at all, we have to just get excited with it and be able to do this. So if there's a stitch missing, just fake it, and if there's one extra, which is awesome, you can fake that as well. So there's lots of opportunities for faking it. So chain 1, single crochet into this chain 2 space, chain 2 and single crochet in. Now we're going to do a single crochet overlay like it's like a crisscross. So you're going to skip the first stitch coming out, go to the second single crochet and go to the one you skipped, and when you do it just go right into it and allow the stitch work to go right up over top of the first one so that the first stitch is actually inside the second, like that. So let's show you again. So skip the next one, single crochet, and then go to the one you skipped, just dive right on in and just go around, and so the first stitch is inside. And so this prevents you from having to like work around that first stitch, and basically the first stitch gets buried underneath and it has a really beautiful look to it as well. So you'll do this all the way to the first corner, and let's see if our stitch work matches. If it's not, I'll show you how to fake it, and if it is matching I'll still show you how to fake it, and I'll be right back in a second. So I'm just working my way all the way across. Now ultimately it'd be awesome if it matches. In this case it doesn't. I have one stitch and I've just finished my crisscross. So what I would do if this were, if you weren't watching me, I would still go into the next one. So don't skip one and then crisscross it with the last stitch that you just did. Yeah. And then just start your corner. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and look, you can barely notice that you've had to improvise anything. So then you'll start a new side, so skipping one and coming to the one you skipped. So I want you to go all the way around. I'm not gonna do it myself, but I will be right back and we'll do our final round number 3 in just a moment. So I've now just come all the way around. I am again the same situation where I have that extra stitch that I don't know what to do with, so I'm just going to fake it, right? So single crochet and then come back to the one I was just in earlier and do that. So it's a great way to know how to do that. So then this is where you're going to just slip stitch to the beginning. So round number 3, just slip stitch to the chain 2, chain 1, and the corners will be 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet, and all you're just going to do then is just 1 single crochet in each of the stitches going all the way across. The corners will be single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then you'll carry on. So it's just a single crochet round to have it stabilize, and this will be the end of the journey for the Larksfoot Granny Afghan. So I'll be right back in just a moment. So when you come all the way back around, you're just going to slip stitch it and attach it to the very first one, and with just a chain 2, and then fasten off, and then you're done. So you can see that you had your centerpiece that could have been any size. If you don't want to make it a rectangle, you do not have to do that, and this is what it would look like in a different color other than what Jeannie has, and of course the border has to be finished. But this is a really great example of creativity. This is by Jeannie. This is the Larksfoot Granny Afghan. Have a good one, and we hope to see you again real soon.